Hi, I'm Nora Bryan from Hands On Tradition, and I want to thank y'all for joining our video, and thank you if you've purchased our Mini Moons templates. Our templates are manufactured by Martelli Enterprises for us, and they are manufactured with a non-slip backing, and it comes in 3 sizes: large, medium, and small. And we like to use pre-cut fabrics whenever possible because of the time it saves. So our large template will actually work on a layer cake made by Moda, and it's 10-inch squares, and our small will work on a charm pack, which are 5-inch squares. For demonstration purposes today, we're going to use the large template, and I'm going to use a layer cake, which are 10-inch squares. And what you do is you begin by taking your template, and you're going to line up 5 or 6 squares at a time because the fabric will not move with our non-slip backing. And you're going to put your template down and match it in the corners of both of your squares. And you're going to take your rotary cutter, and you're going to cut around and cut your template out, and you're going to remove your template, and then you're going to end up with 2 pieces like this. You're going to have what I call the moon, and this is going to be the sky. So you're going to go through and you want to make some contrast in here, so you're going to try to match a darker one and a lighter one. So we're going to take this dark one and this light one. Okay, and what you're going to do is you're going to take each piece, and you're going to take this piece and you're going to pin the center, and you're going to take this piece and you're going to pin the center of this one also, because you want to find the centers. And then you're going to take them and you're going to match the centers and you're going to pin them. So this goes with the round side out here, and you're going to pin it right here. And then for this template to work and to be able to use your fabric without it being kind of wompy job when you get through with it, you have to allow a seam allowance here on the end to make up for the fabric that you're taking out. So what I do is I just go ahead and I mark put that about 1/4 of an inch away, and pin my pin from the other direction, and that way I won't forget that I've got to leave that little bit on the ends. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pin it like this, and you're going to be pinned in the center, and you're going to be pinned in here. And then if you want to, you can put some other pins in. You can put 1 or 2 or none. It's got a nice gentle curve here, so you can kind of pull it as you're sewing it. And I've got one right here that's already pinned. And so we're going to go over here to the sewing machine, and you're going to use a 1/4 inch seam, a scant 1/4 inch if possible, and you're going to start and put it up. Okay, and you're going to get your presser foot down and hold on to your threads and start sewing. And as you sew, you'll see that you can just kind of pull it around to the curve, and it'll just sew right in. It looks like it's going to pucker, but don't worry, it's not going to. And just keep sewing around. Remove your pins, and you're just going to continue around, keeping that 1/4 inch seam. Take your pin out, get around to this side, sew this one, and if you just give it a little pull, it'll pull that seam allowance out just enough to sew that down for you. Take this last pin out, this last little bit of curve right here, and sew it right there, and finish down here. Okay. Take it out, take the pins out, and then you're going to end up with a square that looks like this. And you'll be able to you can either iron it either direction. You can iron it with your seam to the inside, or you can iron it with your seam to the outside, just whatever's your preference. And I have one over here that's already been sewn. And what you're going to do is iron it, and after you do, you'll see that you're going to end up with these little tails that you left on the end. And so that's what we're going to use to square. So when starting with the 10-inch square, most of my squares are going to end up to be about 9.5 inches is what I guess. So I put my moon down here in the corner, and you've got a diagonal line on your ruler. So you want to place that diagonal line in the corner and line up your side, and make sure that your line goes all the way to the opposite corner. And you're going to see that it looks real crazy underneath there, but once you trim it, it's going to be okay. So you're going to take your ruler and you're going to trim all these sides and get rid of all this little bit of excess fabric that's left. And then when you do, that will be your finished square. For those of you who were watching from Quiltmania, we're very excited that Quiltmania chose one of our quilts to put in their magazine. And we'll be showing you directions on what you need to do to make the Mosaic Moons quilt. And again, we started with the layer cake. And so this is what our finished square is going to end up looking like. So we're going to take these squares, and what you're going to do is take every one of your squares. It's better to do one at a time, but if you're brave, you can do two. Okay, and you're going to line your block up, and you're going to put the point of your ruler on each one of these corners till you get exactly straight, and then you're going to cut it in half. Okay, and you're going to do this to every one of your blocks to where you end up with two pieces. And then once you've done that, just got a couple more to cut here. Gonna line these up. Get the corners together. And cut them right across. Okay, then what you're going to do is you're going to make a little stack. You're going to line them up just like this, where you can see them. And when you separate them, you want to take the ones that have the light moon and keep them together. And you're going to end up with even numbers, so you'll have about 20 to 22 of each one. Okay, and then you're going to take the other stack, and on this one, you're going to put the ones where you have the light tops. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to keep each one of these piles separate because you're only going to work with one at a time. So pick up your first pile, and you're going to take your blocks, and you're going to lay this one like this, and you're going to take the next one underneath and you're going to flip it. So when you do that, then you're going to sew your seam together, and that's how you're going to end up with the blocks that were used in the quilt. So you're going to take all of these until you've got your even number and sew those all together. So you'll have that stack right there. And then you're going to take the next one, and you do the very same thing. You take two blocks and you flip it. So you're going to do this with each one. To me, that was the easiest way to do it, was to try to do one little stack at a time, so that way you don't get confused. Because if you try to do them all at one time, it'll get really confusing. So that's how you make the block. And in the quilt, we don't have a picture of it because the magazine has it, but you'll see in your magazine that it's 6 blocks across and 7 blocks down. Thank you, and if you have any questions, you can go visit us at our website. It's www.handsontradition, and also our email address is there and telephone number, and we're ready to help you with any questions you might have. And I hope you'll check out our website and maybe check out some of our other videos. Thank you.